we ready to begin?
Good morning!
My name is Misty.
Come on, Ike, it's time.
We would be honored if you would join us.
The greatest adventure of all time.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Come on, let's get in character.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Oh, come on!
Good morning, Ernie.
Hello, Burt.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Love Burt and Ernie.
Good morning. Happy Moon Day to you.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Happy Moon Day to you.
2 weeks in a row.
It is. It is.
Yeah, this is episode 291.
You're right.
It's 291.
It is. It's 291.
Yep.
Yep. Tomorrow we'll record 300.
It's too bad that we've done pizza for Food Fridays already, because episode 300 on a pizza party would be pretty good.
Would have been pretty great.
Yep.
We're going to have to come up with something pretty epic.
Yep.
Because biscuits and gravy is pretty epic.
We could punt. We'll see.
We've already said we're going to do it.
But you guys are probably here to learn about Burt Reynolds.
Yep.
Because it's his birthday.
I am. It's his birthday.
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 Yeah, but if your name is Burt Reynolds.
It is birthday.
Yep. Birthday.
You're going to cut that out and you're going to use it over and over of me saying birthday.
You guys might know Mr. Reynolds from being the father of Ryan Reynolds of Death Pool fame.
It's not correct at all.
But what you don't know is that he was, from 1978 to 1982, the only person to boast a 5 consecutive years at the top of the Quigley's top 10 moneymakers list.
What's the Quigley's? I've never heard of. Like, what is this measurement?
It's down the street. Quigley's, believe it or not. It's the.
Do you know?
I got you. Sorry, folks. If you're not in Los Angeles, there's a Ripley's, believe it or not, on Misty's way home.
Yep, and it has a huge dinosaur on the top of it,
Named
and the
Quigley.
dinosaur is wearing a mask. It's
That's
cute.
hilarious.
It's real funny.
There used to be a list dating back like before the 40s, because Bing Crosby was the only person before Burt Reynolds to beat him on that list for 5 years in a row of top 10 moneymakers.
Okay.
So he was in the top 10 moneymakers from 1978 to 1982, and he was the number 1 for 5 years straight.
Oh, I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
can we go back to you claiming that he's Ryan Reynolds' dad?
Sure.
Ryan Reynolds is Canadian. Burt Reynolds is
Also
from
Canadian.
Florida.
Florida.
He's Floridian. Is that how he's?
You can't say
Is that what they say? Floridian?
You can't say that anymore.
Why can't you say that anymore?
I don't know.
Because nobody wants to claim being a Floridian.
I don't. I definitely don't.
Well, I read so much about Burt Reynolds, but this one really made me laugh, and it's partially because you love the movie Die Hard so much.
Yeah.
Do you know that Burt Reynolds was up for Bruce Willis's character in Die Hard?
100%. Bruce Willis was actually the last person they wanted, and somebody believed in him so much that they made it happen. Look what happened.
He turned it down. He said, no, thank you. And after the movie came out and was super popular, somebody asked him, do you regret turning that role down? And he said, I will never regret turning anything down that Bruce Willis does. Not the kindest words. But if you're Burt Reynolds, I guess you can get away with that.
No, you could take that as a compliment.
No, it was not meant as a compliment at all.
Oh.
It was.
He didn't
not.
have admiration for Mr. Willis?
No, he was like, I never want to be considered for something in the same realm that Bruce Willis would do.
Oh, gross.
It was meant that way.
I thought he was a gentleman, but I guess not.
He was definitely not always known as a gentleman.
That's also true.
He spoke his mind, and that's
did.
what a lot of people admired about him, though.
That's true. He got his start. I'm just going to read. Here, let's read it together, guys. After a serious knee injury and subsequent car accident, ended a promising football career at Florida State University. Also, I think, similar to The Rock, went to Florida State.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see here. Reynolds found his way into acting. He got his start in a series of television roles, including a regular gig on the Western series Riverboat, everybody's favorite show. Then hit the big screen big time with his breakout role in John Boorman's 1972 Backwood classic Deliverance, which is also basically a documentary on where Ike grew up.
He says that that's the role that he's the proudest of, is Deliverance.
Yeah, he actually does
he says that it's
some
his
actual
best
acting in it. Yeah. He's most notably known for Smokey and the Bandit, I think.
Which is a fantastic movie. You can't not love it. Did
Playboy
you know he
magazine.
also Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Playboy magazine called it the Gone with the Wind of good old boy movies.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I would agree with that. But did you know he also turned down the role of Han Solo, as well as the lead male character in Pretty Woman, Edward Lewis? So the role that Richard Gere played? He turned both of those down. Han Solo, John McClane, and Edward Lewis. 3 enormous movies.
I mean, all those came after his heyday too. Like, it could have been a resurgence for him.
Completely.
Wow.
Completely. He, like, at that point, he was probably coming close to moving into like the TV roles that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
This kind of, I read this and it kind of made me sad because he's definitely known as a sex symbol. Like, that's, you know, the Playboy spread that he's so famous for. Kind of known as that kind of guy that could have anybody. And he married the lady from WKRP, Lonnie Anderson, the blonde.
WKRP.
In Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But there's one person that he fell in love with and was in love with his whole life. And that was Sally Field. They dated for a long time, and he asked her to marry him several different times, and she turned him down every time.
Oh.
And he decided to finally move on. And he said in his later years before he passed that she was definitely the one that got away, and that he still loved her. And that just makes my heart believe in love again.
Good old Burt. Falling in love.
With little Sally Field, like perfect, you know, I mean, she's like Miss Goody Goody, you know? Like, they're a very odd couple, I would think.
Yep.
You know? Like, yeah.
Did you know that your boy Burt posed nude in Cosmopolitan magazine?
And it sold the most copies of Cosmopolitan magazine ever.
1.6 million of copies of that magazine sold out. It came out a short time before Deliverance was released in theaters, and Reynolds said, "I'm very embarrassed by it."
Yeah, he didn't like it.
I thought it cost some actors in Deliverance an Academy Award, Reynolds told Morgan. It cost Pierce Morgan in this interview. I think it cost John, and I think it cost Ned Beatty, who certainly deserved an Oscar nomination, but I think it hurt me too, was his quote from me.
You know, it's really interesting because I would not see it that way.
Not
like
now.
Back then.
Yeah, but back then.
That was completely like Playboy and Playgirl magazine were sold in grocery stores at that point. You know, things that were, I'm not sure. It's very weird because I feel like things that were a little bit more risque were a little bit more publicly acceptable then.
In 71?
Yeah. Like, I mean, now Cosmopolitan has to cover up for like probably about 5 years. They covered up their covers in grocery stores of women because of how overtly sexual they were.
Yeah. Now.
They didn't do that then. They didn't do that then at all. No, like, dude, I remember being in the grocery store and looking up at magazines and being like, whoa. That's more skin than I've ever seen in my whole life.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know why he looked so poorly upon that between the Playboy and the Cosmo. Like, I mean, I guess you wouldn't want to be known your whole career as the guy that posed naked a couple times, but
yeah. Or, I mean, if you're looking for all the rest of those guys that he listed went on to be like very well respected and like Academy Award winners and like big time executives.
He won an Academy Award for Boogie Nights, didn't he?
He did. Well, he got.
I know he was nominated.
I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, I think he won an Academy Award.
He was Oscar nominated.
Okay.
He turned down his Oscar nominated role in Boogie Nights 7 times.
Yeah.
That's so weird. He's just into turning stuff down.
You know, maybe he learned from doing those spreads. Like, oh, I wasn't completely comfortable doing these, but I did them. I need to learn to say no to things that I don't believe in or that I don't want to do.
And he played a porn producer.
But it's such a great movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what you think it is. You know, it's not glorifying the entire idea of the porn industry. Like, it's a very different movie.
So apparently on the 8th time, Paul Thomas Anderson went to Burt Reynolds' hotel room to offer him this film. One night, the 8th time, Anderson came to our room And I said, look, you don't get it. And I went a little berserk. And at the end of the tirade, he said, and if you can do that in a movie, you'll get nominated for an Academy Award. And he was right.
And he was right. Paul Thomas Anderson's so awesome.
Yeah.
God, his movies are just incredible.
Man, we are flying through time. So I want to talk about, real quick, the film term that...
Yes. Tell me about this.
So if you're on set, you do what's called coverage, right? So you would establish... Right now, we're in what we'll call our wide or our master wide. Mm-hmm. We used to have singles, right? There would be a single on me and a single on Misty. This person who's also in the room. I forgot to say that. But if we were facing each other, we would do what's called overs, right? So you'd shoot over my shoulder onto Misty and over Misty's shoulder onto me. You could cut that with the wide and it would look conversational. Burt Reynolds is famous on his over. So basically, it's basically just his shoulder. A lot of people mess around when they're quote unquote either off camera. If you're off camera, it's called inside, and then it's an over, and then blah, 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 whatever. So on his overs, he would throw, let's just say this microphone is the camera. He would throw his look.
Oh, yeah, the Burt Reynolds look.
That's called a Burt Reynolds. When you get screen time on your face on your over, which is typically meant to be your other
co-star.
Yeah.
Wow. So like kind of stealing the...
Yeah. If you say, give me a Burt or give me a Reynolds or give me a Burt Reynolds, then you're asking someone to throw their gaze into the eye line or into the frame line of the coverage while you're on someone else's over.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah. That's super cool.
That's a little something from the film biz.
I like it. Yeah. I like it a lot.
All right, we got time for like what, 2-3 more facts?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He was considered to be James Bond once.
He was considered to be James Bond?
He was considered for the role of James Bond. He, once again, turned it away. In the 70s, James Bond producer Barbara Broccoli approached Burt Reynolds about taking over the mantle as legendary spy James Bond. And as ambitious as he was, he knew that James Bond couldn't possibly be played by an American actor and had to pass on the role.
Whoa. Did you know he had some beef with Marlon Brando?
Oh, they had hardcore beef, like down to the very end when Brando died. And they never met.
You know where it started? I'll tell you.
I don't remember.
Coming up in the movie business, Burt Reynolds was a huge Marlon Brando fan. Brando did not share the sentiment. When Reynolds was being considered for the role of Michael Corleone for 1972's The Godfather, Brando admittedly declared that if Reynolds was given the role, he would remove himself from the project. The rest is history.
How do you know when you haven't even met someone?
Well, Brando later said about Reynolds, he is the epitome of something that makes me want to throw up. He is the epitome of everything that is disgusting about the thespian. He worships at the temple of his own narcissism.
Dang, those are strong words.
And he never met him. Yeah, he never met him.
Strong words.
Yeah.
Damn.
Brando was like a true artist in the form of acting.
He absolutely was. Yeah.
Burt kind of stumbled in through the stunt world.
Yeah. Well, and also apparently part of it is because Burt Reynolds was often compared in his younger years to having a resemblance to Brando. And Brando hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it. But I'm going to try and wrap this up on one that's really funny.
Okay.
So in the 80s, the National Enquirer was a very big deal. Like a very big deal. I mean, it's something you bought with your Woman's World and your Good Housekeeping, and you read it every week.
Yeah.
So they reported constantly on Burt Reynolds. They followed him around. They followed him and his wife around. He was in the process of, when he and Lonnie divorced, they were on the cover for, 6 months at a time. And he had a very contemptuous relationship with the National Enquirer. He decided to take revenge on them in a way that no one else has before. During a Christmas holiday, he flew his own personal helicopter over the National Enquirer's headquarters and dropped horse manure all over their very large and ornate Christmas tree that they had decorated outside.
Wow.
Horse shit all over.
He flew it himself?
He flew it himself and opened the hatch, and there went the horse poop all over their tree.
Wow.
So he shit on their Christmas. That's eventually what happened there.
That's nuts. I want to learn how to fly a helicopter now.
So that you can drop poop on people?
Not necessarily.
It kind of makes me laugh, though, too, because the reason he was in such a big fight is because they covered him and Lonnie Anderson, who was on WKRP, a show which is also known for their Thanksgiving episode of dropping turkeys out of a helicopter.
That's hilarious.
So I wonder if he got the idea out of the old ex-wife's TV show there.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Do you want to know one last fact?
I do.
He was also a musician.
I heard that.
He dropped an album in 1973 called Ask Me What I Am.
It didn't go so great.
And I don't think there's... Oh, here's the title track. Ask Me What I Am by Burt Reynolds.
And we're going to let it take us out, right?
We can't possibly get flagged for this. It's got 1,000 streams on Spotify.
Oh, Lord.
Nothing has over 2,000. There's 2,600 streams. In fact, this sounds like something that someone has stolen, like Coldplay or something, sampled.
Or,
Ask me what tomorrow will bring.
Oh,
this is terrible.
Bye,
turn
Bert.
it off.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
folks.
sorry, Bert.
He wasn't good at everything.
He was not good at everything.
He had a follow-up. Not that I'm going to play it, but he had...
God.
Let's see here. And then Hop Along Cassidy. No, that's he's just featured on that.
Nope.
There's also something called Incidental CB Dialogue by Bandit and Snowman.
Oh, it's...
Break one. This is the Bandit. It's the Snowman out there. Am I hitting your son?
Yep, I don't know if people are going to be able to hear
Yeah.
that. All right. That is all we can get. I've run out of words.
And you know what? That means that since it's not Friday,
It's
we'll
time.
see you tomorrow.
What she said. Bye.